I scowled in frustration at my grades on the screen. Damn my gradebook. It just won't behave. Hello everyone, this is Tracy DeBellevue and welcome to 50 Shades of Grades. In this video we will go over some quick tips and tricks in D2L. One thing we will not be covering is how to build your gradebook. To get those instructions, please go to MavZone and go to the CMU Online tab. Here you will find, over on the right, several quick guides that will step you through the process of creating a gradebook and using many other tools in D2L. These usually have videos with them as well to help you in building your gradebook. I'm in my sandbox, which is a dummy course that I have created for demonstrating. So let's go to the Grades tool, and the first thing we see is the Manage Grades screen. We have quite a bit of information here, so we'll go through this a step at a time. First, let's look at our settings. The settings show you three things: what you want to view, or your personal display options, your org unit display options, which is the student's view, and your calculation options. So let's begin with your personal display options. This determines what you want to see in your view of the gradebook. You have these different checkboxes you can check for what you want to see in their grade detail. The grade scheme symbol is the A through F symbols, and the grade scheme color is something you can also select to view. You can also select down at the bottom which start page you want to see when you click the grade icon in the blue navigation bar. You can start with the Manage Grades screen, or the grade settings first, or the grade schemes first, or you can see the setup wizard. You can also choose Enter Grade screen, which is your spreadsheet for all of your grades. For now, I'm going to leave this on Manage Grades. You'll want to save each page as you go. Your org unit display options are for the display for your students, so be sure all of these are checked if you want them to see their points, grade scheme symbol, and see their grade scheme color. If you want them to be able to see the final grade, be sure that this checkbox is selected. Don't forget to save. In our calculation options, this is where you set if you are using weighted grades or points grades. The thing to remember if you choose weighted grades is that all of your grade items, if you aren't using categories, must add up to 100%, not less and not more, or you will get a red warning at the top of your grade screen. This red warning will let you know if you calculated too many points or not enough. Under Final Grades Release, you'll want to be sure the calculated final grade is released in most situations. Under Grade Calculations, you have two options: drop ungraded items and treat ungraded items as 0. If you select to treat ungraded items as 0, then everything that has not been graded yet or in the past will automatically get a 0. That means when your students log into class on the first day, they will see that they have an F in the class, so you may want to use drop ungraded items instead. If you do that, be sure that you actually enter 0 for any legitimately missed items so that their points total is accurate. And be sure the Automatically Keep Final Grades Updated checkbox is checked so that it keeps an accurate total of your students' grade points. We'll save that screen and then hit Close to return to the Manage Grades screen. In the Manage Grades screen, we see many bits of information. Over here in the gray, we see our categories. The indented grades are the grade items within the categories. And then here are the grade items that are not in a grade category. You can see that they're not indented. If you go to the right, it tells you what type of grade it is and what it is associated with. So not only does it say what type of tool this grade item is associated with, if you click on the little eye icon, it tells you exactly which assessment is associated with this grade item and gives you some detail about that grade item as well. It also tells you the maximum number of points for that item. You'll notice over here that Weekly Quiz 2 has a little icon by it. This icon, although sometimes hard to see, is a little closed eye with a clock. That means there are restrictions set on the date and time that this will appear. If you see this icon beside one of your grade items, you are going to want to remove those restrictions. Otherwise, your grade items will disappear for your students and cause confusion. To change that, click the drop-down arrow and select Edit Grade Item. Go to the Restrictions tab, and you can remove grade date restrictions you see there. The easiest way to do this is to select that the grade item is always visible, and then save and close. And you'll see that the icon has now disappeared. If you get reports from your students that a grade item is disappearing, this icon should be the first detail that you check, because usually it's causing that problem. This does not affect the deadlines for the assessment that this grade item is associated with. This bonus quiz indicates that it is a bonus point item by having this yellow star next to it. You can see the details of that by going to Edit Grade Item. That yellow star appears because the bonus checkbox is selected. Something to remember, you must always go to the category the grade item is in, edit the grade item, and select Can Exceed. This means that should a student get all the points for the regular activities in this category, they can still get bonus points, and the grade item can exceed the maximum number of points. So always check Can Exceed so the bonus points are calculated correctly. Also from the Manage Grades screen, you can enter grades or change grades manually. By coming to the grade item and selecting Enter Grades, you are able to manually enter grade items into this column. That means if you have an assignment that is not turned in through D2L, you can still enter the grade and have a grade item for it in the gradebook. You can also change a grade if you need to from this screen. Always click Save and Close when you've entered new grades. This automatically took us to the Enter Grades screen. Now, if you're on the Manage Grades screen and you want to get to this in just one click, click Enter Grades at the top. Now, I'd like to reiterate to you, if you have selected the option to drop ungraded items, you need to make sure that you enter 0 for any legitimately missed items, so that the grade calculation is correct. On this screen, you can also see how many students you have per page. This particular shell only has 2 students, but if you have more than 20 students, you may want to select to see all of them on one page by changing the maximum number you can see per page. You can also release the final grades from this screen. This is something you may actually want to do at the beginning of the course, so that your students always see a running total of their final grade. You do this by coming here to the Final Calculated Grade column, select the drop-down arrow, and select Grade All. Select the checkbox at the top of the list. That will select all of your students on the screen. Again, if you have more than 20 students, be sure your per-page display includes all of your students when you do this. Once you have selected all of your students, click the Release Unrelease link. That will check all of the boxes in this column, and then save. And then we return to Enter Grades and see this open eyeball icon next to the grades. This means the final grade calculation is visible to all of your students. As always, if you need assistance with your gradebook, please contact the Distance Education Office. Our contact information is available at the CMU Online tab in MavZone. Here is a list for the Distance Ed team. You can also follow our Facebook page, our Twitter feed, and see the CMU blog in WordPress. In this blog, you will find helpful information in what's new at CMU Online. Here we post interesting articles and updates for the faculty using D2L. Thank you for listening to this 50 Shades of Grades webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a call if you have any questions, and thank you.